obviously, I think it's a case that merits the death penalty. Like Ms. Moore said, it's a brutal and horrible crime. It's unspeakable, and I think it's really important to really gauge and know where her family comes down on that point, and I want to be sensitive to that and have been, and all along they've wanted to seek the death penalty, and since I agree that legally I think we can and should seek the death penalty, then as long as that's what they want, that's what I'll be doing.
This might not.
I mean, the reality is these cases are never satisfying. I always tell families when I meet with them, no matter how this thing ends, you're not going to feel happy about it. It's always sad from the first day to the last day, and then for the rest of the lives of the families. She pled guilty to certainly some of what she did, right? I think there are some things that remain unproven, but it is very gratifying to see that guilty plea entered and to know that there's a life sentence without parole coming, that no matter what happens, that's there. Of course, I would be foolish to say that that's not meaningful. It's very meaningful, very, very meaningful. It matters a lot. And so I do feel good about that in the sense that there is, a huge step toward, kind of like following through with what the family wants to see happen. That worst case scenario, we know where she's going to be for the rest of her life. And so, I don't know that satisfying is the right word, and I know what you meant, but it's very, very meaningful that she pled guilty today and sort of admitted, most of what she did. Like I said, there are different charges: kidnapping resulting in death versus capital murder. Okay, and the factual basis that she pled to today was to meet the elements of kidnapping resulting in a death, and I've charged her with the premeditated and deliberated murder. And so those things are a little bit different, right? And the things that she admitted to today satisfy the elements of the kidnapping resulting in death, but not necessarily the premeditated and deliberated murder, right? Some portion of it, I think, but there are still things that to satisfy that charge need to be proven.
Any case, every defendant who pleads guilty has to make a knowing and voluntary plea. And so that's really what a guilty plea hearing also establishes, is that the plea is knowing and voluntary, and it's their choice to enter into a guilty plea. And really, that's what today's hearing was. Not only does we have to establish the factual basis that each and every element of the crime was committed by the defendant, they are admitting their guilt to that element, but they're also entering into it knowingly and intelligently. And so her attorneys had gone over with her. I think in court you saw the superseding indictment, and so that she knew the charges she was pleading guilty to, and admitted or said in court that she understood those charges. But there's not a plea agreement in this case. Ms. Waterman entered into a plea up to the court, so we did not have, and I think in court Ms. Wan stated there was no plea agreement offered in this particular case. It is a horrific, brutal crime where two innocent victims were killed, and we would have been prepared to try the case.